Welcome to week 4 of Forest School. This week we're going to talk about love as Valentine's Day is coming up. We're also going to talk about Chinese New Year as that is happening this week too. It's an exciting week all round. When we think of Valentine's Day, we often think of romantic love, but actually there are lots of different types of love that are certainly worth celebrating. The ancient Greeks were absolute experts at talking about love, and they came up with different groups of types of love. It's the affectionate kind of love that you find in friendship, or the camaraderie we feel with our classmates or our teammates. And then there's the love we feel for our families, that unshaking love that will continue no matter what. And that brings me to enduring love. That's the sort of love that has lasted a very, very long time and in which people have had to make lots of compromises and show patience and tolerance. And then there's a very special type of love that we talk a lot about at Forest School, and that's self-love. Not the sort of love where we think we're marvellous and we're vain, but more about feeling happy with ourselves and comfortable in our own skin. At Forest School, we often remind each other, don't we, to be kind to each other, but also to be kind to ourselves. And then there's this sort of selfless love, empathy and compassion, where we have an unlimited understanding of others and wanting to help and do good for others. The sort of love that we've seen from the NHS and the nurses and the doctors and all the workers in the NHS that have been working hard to keep us safe and well during coronavirus. Whilst I've been talking to you, you've been looking at lots of lovely photos of hearts that can be found in nature. I sent Mrs. Lee on a mission at Forest School to see what hearts we could find there.
I'm at Forest School this week and I've been set a task to find hearts in nature because it's Valentine's. So I'm going to have a little trip around and see if we can spot anything. Sometimes it's really hard to spot things that you're not looking for. So if you tell your mind, give yourself a task, it's amazing what you can find in nature. I'm going to turn the video around and we're going to go on a little walk. Well, look what I found. Just ivy. But if you look closely, some of the little leaves actually look like little hearts. Can you spot one? Look at that. Little hearts in a row. Now look at this one on the branch. Can you see the heart that I'm looking at? Like I said earlier, unless you start looking for something, we just don't notice it. Now I never thought that I could see a heart on this tree, but look, there it is, our very own Forest School tree heart. Right, I'm going to keep looking. I'm on a mission. And I found another one. Can you see it too? These leaves are just coming out. They've obviously had some warm weather and they think it's spring. Look at that. I am so surprised about how many hearts I've actually found. Look, there's another one. It's one thing this has taught me. It's about slowing down. And the only thing that was on my mind when I was walking around our Forest School was to look for hearts. So I didn't think about all the worries of the day and all the jobs I've got to do. I just thought, I'm looking for hearts. And it is amazing what nature can offer us if we actually stop, think, and then start looking. It's beautiful. So just at our forest school, I found four nature hearts, and it's actually a really small area. So when you go on a walk, I really hope that you start looking too. It's exactly what I'm going to do over the weekend, is keep looking for hearts. Good luck, and I hope you find lots and lots.
Mrs. Lee, you are so right. The more we look for these hearts, the more we see. It's a fantastic way to stay mindful on our walks. I've just found a heart-shaped fungus. Now this type of fungus has a very funny name. It's called a jelly ear, because some people think they look like ears growing on dead wood. There's another little one just there. Aren't they funny? Of course, I'm not going to touch them because I can't be certain that I've got the ID right, and it might be a poisonous fungus, so we never touch fungus. So the more we look for hearts, the more we see. And the same can be true for looking for signs of love. The more you look out for signs of love, the more you see them. A sign of love might be just a postman giving somebody a smile as they deliver the post. Or it could be somebody making you your tea. Or it could be someone helping you with your schoolwork. It could be a friendly telephone call, or just a quick message to see how you are. It could be being patient with a sibling, even when you're not feeling very patient. If you're struggling to find signs of love around you, perhaps you could make some of your own signs to others. Here I've made a heart for someone else to find out of ivy. What could you do that was loving to show someone that you care? Somebody else might find my heart made of leaves. I hope it brings a smile to somebody's face. We'd love to see photos that you take on your walks of hearts that you find in nature, or hearts that you've made yourself out of natural objects. The most amazing thing about love is the more you look out for it, the more you'll see. And the more love you give out, the more you'll receive back. It never runs out.
On this beautiful frosty morning, I was walking in my garden, looking at all the frosty items on my veg patch. I think they're feeling sorry for themselves. But I noticed all our little pebbles down the side, and it gave me an idea for Valentine's Day. So I'm going to pick a few pebbles, and I think myself and my daughter, we're going to decorate them. And we can decorate them with paints and pens, and they can be little Valentine or little kind ship gestures that we can give out to friends and family around the village. Take a moment just to look at all these frosty things. Look at that poor plant. We're going to decorate them with some paints, and then we're going to put little messages on. So this is before, and then we'll show you some afterwards. So here are some stones that we have painted up in different colours. You can see we've done some yellow and pink. We've just put a base layer of paint on. And next, we're going to decorate them. We're going to decorate them so we can give out kindness to all. So we can give them to our family, to our friends. We can drop them off around the village and just leave them for other people to look at. So we're going to decorate them, and we'll show you once we're done.
Eddie and I are in our garden now and we're going to show you a really fun Valentine's activity. All you need is a stick and some felt tip pens. And we're going to go and find them in a minute. You need a stick that's thick enough that you can write on it and has some bark on it. Can you see? Because we're going to have a go at peeling it. So off we go on our hunt for our perfect stick. We've both chosen our stick.
Mine's a very big one.
Yeah, Eddie, show yours.
Right. This big, like massive.
We've actually saved that to do some den building with. So that's going to be even more special that it's got some really happy messages written on it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to peel off the bark. You don't need any tools for that at all. So most sticks should be really easy to peel without using, you don't need to use a knife or a tool or anything. You can just do this with your finger. And it's a really relaxing thing to do. After you've been for a walk and you've chosen your stick, you can just sit outside, or even if you get some old newspaper, you can do it at the table. And you just peel away and you get to see this beautiful fresh wood. You're the first one to ever see that. No one has seen the stick like that before. And so you can see that I've peeled my stick until I got to the knot in the wood. That was a bit trickier.
I've done a bit of mine.
And you've done a bit of yours. There.
But some of it is quite easy.
Yeah, it's quite easy because yours is quite rotten, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very well.
So I'm going to write on this a stick-related phrase. I've got some here. Stick with me. I'll always stick with you. Let's stick together. And I think I'm going to try, we can do this if we stick together, as an encouraging phrase, an encouraging Valentine's phrase. So I'm going to have a go at writing that on my stick. So I've finished mine with the phrase, we can do this if we stick together. So I'm going to go for a walk on Valentine's Day and leave this somewhere on my walk in the hope that someone finds this cheery message to cheer them up. Can you think of a phrase that you'd like to add? Or would you just like to decorate it with colours? Where might you leave it? We'd love to see photos of your sticks decorated and where you've left them on the Google Classroom. Eddie, what are you writing on yours?
I'm writing, the world will stick together if we look after it.
That is a really fantastic message. It'll be a lovely reminder when you're building a den with that stick, won't it?
Yeah.
Hi everyone, this week I've been asked to come down with the Forest School ladies and we're going to read Stickman, one of my favourites of Julia Donaldson. So, Stickman lives in the family tree with his stick lady love and his stick children 3. One day he wakes early and goes for a jog. Stickman, oh Stickman, beware of the dog. A stick, barks the dog, an excellent stick, the right kind of stick for my favourite trick. I'll fetch it and drop it and fetch it and then I'll fetch it and drop it again. I'm not a stick. Why can't you see? I'm Stickman. I'm Stickman. I'm Stickman. That's me. And I want to go home to the family tree. A notice says, dogs must be kept on the lead. At last the game's over and Stickman is freed. He sets off for home with a hop and a twirl. Stickman, oh Stickman, beware of the girl. A stick, cries the girl with a smile on her face. The right kind of poo stick for winning the race. Has everyone got one? Get ready to throw. It's 1, 2, 3, into the river they go. I'm not a poo stick, why can't they see? I'm Stickman, I'm Stickman, I'm Stickman, that's me. And I'm heading away from the family tree. Stickman is floating. He floats on and on. Stickman, oh Stickman, beware of the swan. This twig, says the swan, this twig is the best. The right kind of twig to weave into my nest. I'm not a twig. Why can't they see? I'm Stickman. I'm Stickman. I'm Stickman. That's me. I long to be back in the family tree. The nest is deserted and Stickman is free. He drifts down the river and sails out to sea. He tosses and turns till the frolicking foam washes him up on a beach far from home. Here comes a dad with a spade in his hand. Stickman, oh Stickman, beware of the sand. A mast, yells the dad, an excellent mast. Hooray, there's a flag on our castle at last. I'm not a mast for a silly old flag, or a sword for a knight, or a hook for a bag. I'm not a pen, I'm not a bow, I'm not a bat, or a boomerang, no. I'm Stickman, oh Stickman, beware of the snow. Here comes a boy in a warm woolly scarf. An arm for my snowman, he says with a laugh. Not an arm, can nobody see? I'm Stickman, I'm Stickman, I'm Stickman, that's me. Will I ever get home to the family tree? Stickman is lonely. Stickman is lost. Stickman is frozen and covered in frost. Stickman is weary. His eyes start to close. He yawns and stretches and lies down for a doze. He can't hear the bells or the sweet singing choir, or the voice saying, here's a good stick for the fire. Stickman is lying asleep in the grate. Can anyone wake him before it's too late? Then suddenly he dreams of his kids and his stick lady love. Then suddenly wakes. What's that noise from above? It starts with a chuckle and then turns to a shout. Ho ho ho! I'm stuck. Get me out. A stuck man. A stuck man. Now who could that be? Don't worry, cries Stickman. I'll soon set you free. A scratch and a scrape and a flurry of soot. A wiggle, a jiggle, and out pokes a foot. A shove, a nudge, a hop and a jump, and Santa falls into the room with a thump. Stickman, oh Stickman, you excellent friend. Thanks a million. Thanks without end. Then Stickman helps Santa deliver the toys to fast asleep girls and fast asleep boys. Faster and faster they fly through the snow till Santa says, only one chimney to go. Stick lady's lonely. The children are sad. It won't feel like Christmas without their stick dad. They toss and they turn in the family bed. But what's that's clattering sound overhead? Someone is tumbling into their house. Is it a bird or a bat or a mouse? Or could it possibly be? I'm Stickman! I'm Stickman! I'm Stickman! That's me! And I'm sticking right here in the family tree. Hope you all enjoyed that. It's Thursday at the moment here. I hope that you all have a wonderful half term. There's a few things coming up over the next few days. Tomorrow is Chinese New Year. Oh, smoke in my eyes. Tomorrow is Chinese New Year. The 14th is Valentine's Day. It's all about love and a little bit to do with Stickman there, finding his lady love. And then on the 16th, the most important day, is Pancake Day. I hope you all have a wonderful, safe half term. Find yourselves lots of different things to do and stay safe. Stay warm as well. It's freezing. Bye-bye, everybody.
Look who I have spotted splashing in our puddles on the way to forest school.
It's our very own Mr. Rankin.
Woohoo! So Mr. Rankin's paid us a visit at forest school today. He's just popped in to say hello.
Hello everybody. Hello.
Mr. Rankin's brought to show us these photos from his garden, and he's been feeding hedgehogs. Are they not hibernating at the moment, Mr.
Yes,
Rankin?
yeah.
They are.
These were taken last year.
These were taken last year.
Well,
So
I
they'll
brought
be.
them to show the children, you know. Maybe there may be an occasion to show them, talk about hedgehogs. I can show them pictures.
Yeah, that would just be wonderful. We can show them to you when you come in. But they'll be hidden away in their very own dens, like the dens we've been making for ourselves. The hedgehogs, these hedgehogs will be huddled away for winter. He's also brought for us a picture of the woodpecker, because when you're at forest school we often ask you to look out for him because we're very, very lucky to have a green woodpecker at forest school. Mrs. Lee, you spotted him last week, didn't you? But you didn't get him on film.
No, I missed him. He was very fast.
But here's the picture. So if you're passing school or if you're walking out on your walk, see if you can spot one. We'd love to see a photo if you manage to catch it. This week is the beginning of the Chinese New Year celebrations, and there's loads of really exciting celebrations for New Year. And one thing they do, which is quite forest schooly, is Chinese often would create a wishing tree to put their wishes on for the next year. And they use red or orange scarves or ribbons, and they tie them to the branches whilst thinking of what their wish is. And I thought, I've got a very special wish at the moment that I am going to tie to this tree, which we have dedicated as our wishing tree. And I am going to wish that all of you at home are happy and taking a moment every day to connect with nature. Scarves and our ribbons will blow in the wind, sending our wish out into the universe to come true, that you are all happy, and looking forward to seeing you all again very soon. At Forest School we talked to you about the Chinese New Year tradition of celebrating New Year with a wishing tree, and we thought that was really forest schooly. And people put their wishes, they tie them onto the branches. And we thought we could adapt that.
It's a bit like Christmas. We just talk about wishes.
That's true. At Christmas we use a tree and we talk about wishes as well, don't we?
Yeah.
And we all have quite a few wishes at the moment, I think.
Yes.
Times are quite tricky because we're at home and we're not going to school because of coronavirus, yeah. And we're not seeing our friends and our family as much as we'd like, or in the same way as we'd like. And there's lots of things we're missing out on. So I thought it might be quite nice for us all to have a wishing tree inside of our house. And then we can put our wishes on every time we get a new wish, something we're missing or something that we're looking forward to, we can put it on our own wishing trees in our house. So the Chinese use red and orange, and I didn't have any orange paper, but I've got some red and yellow. And all I've done is cut it into strips. And on these strips, I've done one here, I've just folded it over about a quarter of the way. Well, it's a third actually, isn't it? Come on, Mrs. Armstead, get your fractions right. A third of the way along. And then with scissors, I've cut about a 2-inch line. And that way, you can thread it through itself to attach it to the tree. But you could attach it however you wanted. You could use string and a hole punch, or you could just actually, they would probably, even without a hole, if I do them without a hole, they would probably just sit on the tree. Yeah, just slot them through like that and they would stay, wouldn't they?
Sometimes they might fall.
And sometimes they might fall off. And I'm going to keep a glass next to my, this is just a twig that we gathered out on our walks. I'm going to keep that in a vase so it's standing up nice and tall. And then I've just got a glass and I'm going to keep all the spare pieces of paper like that next to it, so that if any of us Armsteads feel like we have a wish or something we're missing, we can write it on there and wish for it and put it on our wishing tree. And then when lockdown's over, we're going to have loads of ideas of really fun things to do.
Oh.
So when we're bored and we're saying, I'm bored, I've got nothing to do, we can go back to our wishing tree and we can think of all the things that we missed during lockdown and choose one to do. So Eddie, do you want to take this one that I've already cut?
Yeah.
And you can write a wish or something you're missing on yours. And I'm just going to show you again with the red one.
So should I just do it but at the end of the...
Do it on the end where I haven't cut it. I'm going to show you again. I'm going to prove to you this time I do know what a third is. So there we go. That is cut into 3, folded into 3. Maths genius. And I'm going to cut all the way along. So we've got a nice big cut there and it stops there, and I'm going to write my wish here.
So do I put like something that I want to do after?
Something that you want to do after lockdown, yeah. Something that you're missing.
Oh.
Now there are lots of things you could choose. You could choose seeing grandparents, or you could choose going to a soft play centre, or you could choose going swimming, or perhaps there's a sports club that you love, like your local football club that you play for that you can't go to at the moment, or it could be a trip to the beach, or a shopping trip into Oxford or something, anything that you're feeling like you're really missing at the moment. Are you going to share with people what you put as yours? Can I won't tell them. No, he's not trusting me. He doesn't trust me. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, that's a wish almost every year though, isn't it? That's not special for lockdown. Okay, I'm going to wish that I can go out for a lovely meal with my family that don't live close by. So with my mum and my dad. So I'm going to write, go out for a meal. And then I can attach it on the tree, and it's almost a bit of a promise to myself.
Oh, you could just do it like this, like these.
Yeah, you can do it wherever you like on there, Eddie.
I like find that.
And can you imagine, oh yeah, Eddie's just slotted it on like that. Can you imagine when this is full of these pieces of paper, because we'll add them every time we think of something. It's going to look really pretty, isn't it?
But I don't think it should well, because if it's like a wish that you have an object, do you think you could add that on?
Yeah, if you want it to be that you have an object. Yeah, so we don't want things that cost a lot of money, do we? We just want lovely, happy experiences.
Not like I want to be rich or something.
No, not you want to be rich, or I wish I had the biggest Lego set in the world, which I suspect is what's in the front of your mind. Okay, so I'd love to see photos of your wish trees, and I hope that it helps you think about all the fun you've got ahead of you in the next few months. See you later. Bye.
Can you see all the amazing colours in the fire? This is one way that you could celebrate Chinese New Year. You can actually buy these special packets. They're called magical neon flames, and you pop them into your log burner. They contain copper sulfate and copper chloride. Now, of course, traditionally, the Chinese would celebrate with fireworks and firecrackers. But because of the global pandemic, this is going to be really difficult. So we thought about doing this on our fire. The colours are amazing. It might be difficult for you to see. So why do the Chinese celebrate with firecrackers? In ancient times, during the whole 15 days, firecrackers were used to scare away evil spirits. But today, they're just a notable tradition to express happiness and invite good luck into the home. So that's what we've done. Colours are phenomenal. You see the greens and the blues. I'm going to pull back. Hopefully you can see. It's tricky if you pull back even more. Try and get close. Beautiful blues, purples and greens.
Look how waterlogged the school field is. It's lovely seeing the reflections. Mrs. Lee's having a little paddle.
Pig style?
Yeah, Peppa Pig is onto a good thing with the jumping in muddy puddles. There is nothing better. Maybe if you don't like jumping in muddy puddles, you just like walking slowly through the water. Look, you see all the grass and the leaves decomposing in there. Look at the mud slowly coming up from where my feet are disturbing the mud underground. Looks like smoke.
So still over here. Looks like they look like little lily pads. They're not, but they do look like them, don't they?
Do. So we have our temporary water feature at school.
Like Mr. Smart said, we hope you have a wonderful half term. Stay safe. Make sure you go out and enjoy nature as much as you possibly can.
Have a happy half term. Get out there and have some adventures.